Hey, what's up you guys? It's Simon. Welcome back to my channel. So as you guys can see, we are in Medibang again today, and that is because I wanted to do a sort of like part 2 I suppose you could say review. This is going to be more like a demo. As you can see, I'm recording my iPad screen just because I thought it would be a lot easier for me to explain everything I'm talking about in this video if I'm directly showing you guys rather than me just trying to do a voiceover over a screen recording and then forgetting everything I wanted to say. So basically what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be clearing up some of the missing tools, I guess you could say, that I couldn't find in the last video, and then doing like a quick painting demo. I'm going to just like sort of blend and shade a circle, and then I'm going to try to paint hair kind of like how I do in Psy and see what exactly we can do, but I thought it would be easier to just show you guys as I'm making them and then like talk about my thoughts as it's coming to me rather than, like I said, trying to do it over a voiceover. So I'm just gonna get straight in. And one thing I do want to remind you guys is I love the layout of Medibang so much. I also found, last time I said there were a lot of brushes. There is so much more brushes. So last time I was struggling with a lot of the tools, because I didn't log in, so I don't know if I can show you guys this, but basically when you open Medibang, there's an option to make an account, and when you make an account, so many more brushes become available to you. So I downloaded a bunch of crazy ones. Like, this is one of my favorites. So you can see down here that it's called Cat Stamp, and this is what this brush is, and I love it literally so much. It's one of the coolest things ever. And then there's cool patterns like the Sakura brush, and there's ones for leaves and stuff too. And this one is another favorite. It's like, oh, you can't see that, let me make it bigger. This one is the sparkle brush, so it's got like that sort of like is it shoujo manga? I always get it like confused, but like those little like slice of life soft girl animes or like manga, stuff like that. I just think it's really cute. But, so yeah, be sure when you download Medibang to make an account, because so many more things become available to you, and it makes the program even funner to use than it already was. So going back into brushes, I'm just going to sketch us a quick circle, and we are going to get straight into painting. So obviously this is really messy, but it's gonna do the job, essentially. So I'm going to go to the pen, and I think I'm going to do maybe pink, or do we want to do blue? I have more fun shading blue, so we're going to do blue today. And then we are going to make the brush a little bit bigger. And basically this is just to test out sort of how much I can push blending in Medibang. I've mentioned before that one pet peeve that I have with Procreate is that I can't really blend as much as I would like to as I can in Psy. It's a lot different. I have to do a lot more things, and I've had trouble finding a brush that works for how I want. But so far, Medibang and the watercolor brush have been exactly how I want them to be as far as blending goes. And one thing I did mention in the last video, I don't really like this color. One thing I did mention in the last video is that I couldn't find the eyedropper tool, and that is because the eyedropper tool is in plain sight, but it's very difficult to use. So sometimes I'll tap it and I'll hold down, because it is similar to Procreate, and you can see there that it picked it up pretty easily. But sometimes I have to tap over and over and over again. I don't know if you guys are going to see it throughout this video, but the eyedropper tool is right here. It's underneath the hand, and then when I first downloaded it, it was up here, but I've since messed with it, so I don't really know where it went, but it should be on the sidebar. And if you tap this, I believe, nope, tap again. I broke it. If you do something with this, there is a way to add it to your quick bar, essentially, and you can mess with the brush or the eyedropper tool from there. But it is this little sort of like pencil-y, needle-y, syringe looking thing. That's your eyedropper tool. You can tap that and tap the color that you want to select, or you can tap that and hold it down, or you can just hold down in general, but it tends to be finicky unless you're calling it out for being finicky, and then it decides to be perfect. Oh, see, there it goes. Sometimes I'll hold like over here, and it either won't pick the color up, as you guys can see. I'm pressing down, it's not doing anything, but if I tap, sometimes still doesn't work, and sometimes it will just select in a completely different area. So like I said, the eyedropper tool can be finicky, but it does exist. And it's easier to use with the, what is going on? Pick this blue, please. Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. Eventually, there we go. Eventually it works, but sometimes it can be a real pain in the butt to try and get the eyedropper tool to work with you. So I am just going to continue blending that in. And a lot of the time when you're using, when you're trying to paint and you're doing digital art, it can be tempting, I suppose, to use a smaller brush, but you really want to go with the bigger brush and a lighter hand, because that is what's going to get you those really, really nice gradients. If you use a smaller brush, you're going to see exactly every single place that your hand touched, and it's going to look really, really weird. And I believe someone in the comments mentioned to me of my last video that there is a tutorial out there for like a blending brush. I'm gonna look into that. I'm definitely gonna be doing more videos with Medibang as I experiment with painting in there, because obviously you guys have heard I've been having lots and lots of technical issues with my desktop and my laptop and my tablet, thanks to the new Windows updates, but also thanks to just them being really, really slow. So I've been having a lot of trouble trying to get videos recorded for you guys on there, but it has been like significantly easier for me to start filming on my iPad and with my cell phone, so I'm hopefully going to be able to get more digital painting videos rather than just like line art videos, because I haven't done one of those in so long. I've only been doing them for commissions. I really miss like doing really detailed paintings. So if you guys have any ideas for stuff you want to see me paint, or if you just want to see me paint more in general, be sure to leave a comment and let me know how you feel about that particular subject. Okay, so we have it like sort of, it's a little bit of a lazy painting, I will say, but it is like significantly better than anything I've painted, I would say, in Procreate, save for that one Pride painting that I did, but that was with a whole lot of different brushes, and this is just with the one watercolor brush, so you can see that things are much simpler. So far, I am liking Medibang a lot more than Procreate. That last thumbnail was not clickbait. I really do regret buying Procreate. Also, something Procreate does not have, you'll see, I believe you guys just saw it pop up on screen, Medibang just like auto saves occasionally. If you let your painting sit for a long time, it will straight up just auto save. It's amazing. And while Procreate technically does like have an auto save feature where if you leave it alone you can come back and it'll be the same thing as you were before, sometimes Procreate will crash and my drawing will be not where it was. So that can be really, really irritating. I haven't had that problem with Medibang yet, so I don't know what happens if it crashes, because I've never seen it crash, but that is something to keep in mind. I will say also, as far as painting goes, Procreate does have the one-up when it comes to the fact that Procreate, I believe, has a speed painting function, but someone in the comments of my last video let me know that Medibang does not have this. But you don't have to worry about that, because like I said, or not like I said, but like I can show y'all, if you have the iPad, all you have to do is go into settings if it isn't already there, and you can turn on the screen recording function. And that's what I tend to do for my videos in the first place, because when you use the built-in Procreate speed paint, not only does it export incredibly fast, which can be helpful for things like Instagram, but it can also be incredibly annoying for things like YouTube. If I spend hours and hours and hours on a drawing and it condenses the speed paint into 3 minutes and it just looks terrible and I can't slow it down because then it ruins the quality of the video. So I tend to just go with recording the screen anyway, because again, the speed painting function isn't great, and also you just get more movement. The Procreate speed paint function just records from the front on, and that can be really, really annoying sometimes. So just use the auto screen recording function on your iPad or whatever program you're using. If you're using something like a cell phone, there's tons of screen recording apps out there that you can download. It's not the end of the world that Medibang does not come with its own. So the next thing I want to do is, obviously, I want to show you guys like that hair demo, and I'm going to move this circle using something very specific because I could not find this in the last video. But as I was messing around, and I believe, again, some of you mentioned in the comments, if you tap this like rectangle selection tool sort of thing, there is a lasso tool. It's hidden, but it's there. So now I can move this, and we have more room and the knowledge that there is a lasso tool. I just could not find it because I didn't, again, watch or read the tutorial. Watch and read the tutorials. They're so helpful. Anyways, so now we are going to get into the hair painting demo. So I am just going to sketch the quickest thing that I possibly can. Where is my pencil? Okay, so I'm just gonna sketch a random little doodle, and I will get into painting. Okay, whatever. I'm spending too much time on the face for me supposedly drawing hair. So, I guess I can use this as a quick like hair painting tutorial as well, because I don't think I have done that for you guys yet. If you want one that's more in-depth, let me know in the comments. I might do some tutorials. To be quite honest with you, a lot of the time I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just winging it, but you guys wanted that eye tutorial, so if you want to hear a hair tutorial, if you want a hair tutorial, I will be more than happy to give you guys one. So I'm going to go to the layers, and I always do base colors underneath. I didn't do it with the ball just because, let's be honest, it didn't really matter, but since we're doing sort of like something that has a more abstract shape, it's best to go underneath the layer rather than on top. And I'm going to go with, let's do pink hair. Okay, so there is my pen again. Going to lower the size. And then I always do like the mid-tone first when I'm painting hair, just because I feel like it's easier than starting with the lightest tone, unlike when I do Copic markers. If I do Copic markers, I always start with the lightest tone, unless you have a colorless blender, but even then the colorless blender tends to make things bleed, so I always go with the lightest color in Copics. But when I'm doing digital art, I always go with the mid-tone, because it's a lot easier to choose your shades from there. So, going with the lightest. And then I don't really put too many light colors. I usually tend to go with the darkest, and then I'll go even darker than dark once I start painting. A lot of the time I'll have like a lighter color, like more like a bright red, that I will then set that layer to multiply, so that it sort of like meshes all of the colors together, if that makes sense. And once I've set it to multiply, I use that color as another mid-tone, and then I'll make two darker tones from that color. But we can't do that today because that's brown, and I don't feel like changing the line art color, so we're just gonna go and make up our own mid-tones. Okay, so now what I usually do in Psy is I just immediately start going in with my brush, and because the brush has blending and persistence up almost max, they tend to like just push each other around, and they will naturally flow into their own sort of gradient and colors and stuff, and I really just have to do lots of strokes, and it does exactly what I want. It takes a long time because I really almost draw every single strand when it comes to my paintings. I don't know how that's going to work in Medibang, but like I said, somebody did suggest a blending brush, so I will demo that for you guys in the future once I mess with that brush a little bit. So I'm just going to start pushing colors around. This is when it's sort of okay to make your brush a little bit smaller, because since it's hair, it doesn't matter if there's lots of little strokes. That's actually what you want to have, because again, you're trying to create the illustration, you're trying to create the illusion of a bunch of little strands of hair, so it is really good to have a smaller brush when it comes to stuff like this. Okay, so that's what I'm liking about the watercolor, is it's picking up this like pink color. It's the eyedropper tool is not picking up that pink color, however, but it's picking up the lighter pink color and it's like pushing it around, which is exactly the sort of thing that I would want from a brush in Sai. I will probably have to eyedrop this quite a bit, but I can definitely see that it's doing mostly exactly what I want it to do. So I'm going to go ahead and add music over top, and I'm just going to sit here and try my best to blend this out how I normally would in Sai, and I will get back to you guys once I'm done. So that you guys aren't sitting here forever, I just went ahead and painted part of the bang section so that you guys can vaguely see that it's pretty much looking very, very similar to what I would do in Sai. I will put up a picture somewhere like right here or something, just so that you guys can see how I normally paint hair, or if that's not good enough, you can check out one of my other videos. I'm sure I've painted hair somewhere. I will put that in the iCard somewhere so that you guys can check that out. But I'm very, very pleased with, again, this is just the base watercolor brush. I haven't even tried out the blending brush that one of you guys suggested to me, so I will definitely be checking that brush out and using that a lot more, so expect to see more Medibang videos in the future. I am in love with it so far. I'm probably also going to be doing this setup quite a bit of just me filming my iPad, because I feel like it's kind of an interesting thing to watch. The screen's not too blown out, I hope. So if you guys like this format, let me know so I know to film more videos like this. And I guess finally I just want to say I definitely would recommend giving Medibang a try. The only thing I can still say that is I suppose a con that I suggested in the last video was that the selection tool itself, while there is a lasso tool, I'm still having trouble with transforming things, and I know I'm not the only one. I remember on my Ibis Paint X video, someone mentioned that they love using Medibang too, but they also have trouble transforming things, so hopefully that's something we can see improvements on in the future. I don't know how long this app has been out, so I don't know how long they have been reworking it, but hopefully there will be some updates to the transformation tool. But all I have to say is that I love Medibang so much, and again, I do recommend downloading this app if you're looking into getting into digital art on your iPad or your phone or whatever it is that you would like to use. And with that, I just want to say thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, don't forget to comment, share, subscribe. You guys know what to do. I want to give a big shout out to my patrons Elise Thompson and Sleeps. You guys are the best. Thank you for continuing to support me every single month. If you want to support me and get your name at the end of these videos, you can check me out at Patreon at patreon.com/SimonAESArts. You can get yourself some really cool prizes like some tiled wallpaper, commission discounts, eventually store discounts once I start putting some more original art up on my Etsy store. But again, go ahead and check that out if you're interested, and I will see you guys next Sunday. Bye!